Coraline is the story of a young girl, 11, 12. She's stubborn, skeptical, curious, who is forced to move along with her parents out of her comfortable life in Michigan to this divided up estate house in Oregon. In her dreams, she's led to this door by glowing jumping mice. And in her dreams, the bricks are gone, and through that door she discovers her other mother, her other father, and this whole other world where a better version of her life exists.
If you've read the book before and you see it come to life, it takes all the spookiness from the book and also adds that really fun element to it. And I think people will, it's a real treat to watch. And you just sit back and you're just wowed every sequence.
You're going to see like a lot of sights that are just like really beautiful and that pop out at you. And it's going to be just a really great visual like experience.
I play 3 different voices, so 3 different versions of characters. I play the mother, who is really tired and worn out, and like a lot of moms, I think will relate to her. When you have a lot of kids or too much is happening around the house, and that great commercial, Calgon, take me away. I mean, I think she's sort of in that place, and so she's got a lot of pressure on her, but she's a good person. She's just worn out. That's mom. Then there's other mother, who is just surreally perfect and has just as sweet, sugary, I can do anything for you and I can make anything happen. And in a real way that I think Coraline really starts to think this mother is better than my old crappy tired mother. And then I play, I guess what I call evil mother, which is really when the other mother starts to not get her way, her true colors get revealed, and she becomes quite monstrous.
Teri-Hatcher and I had an enormous amount of fun doing this movie together. I mean, we immediately bonded, had a great relationship throughout. I mean, it was almost as if we became husband and wife. And sometime in the future, I hope that I actually meet her, because I've actually never spoken to her, met her in my life, so there you go.
Well, there are a couple of butty old actresses who've known each other for a very long time who...
Seedy old actresses.
Yeah. Firmly believe that they were great Shakespearean actresses who trod the boards, but in fact they were in very bawdy productions.
Kind of musical, sub-musical, vaudeville.
Yeah. King Lear, L-W-E-R, that sort of thing. But they've been friends forever, but they have great rivalry.
Bit like us.
Yes.
Looks a little scrawny to me, in a charmingly funny-looking way. Like certain kittens before they grow into themselves can be awfully funny-looking, like babies.
Part of my work is to awaken my imaginary world. There are times when you're doing animation where sometimes I can actually, even if I'm not in the studio with the person, they can play me back what done before I got there, so they can feed me her lines. Again, we're in the world, in the realm of imagination. So I have to imagine, with some guidance from the director, which I got, how this particular cat would respond and talk to her, given what I had to say, and especially given how she felt about me, at least initially. So that was kind of fun to play. I didn't get a chance to actually work with her one-on-one. We weren't ever in the studio together, but I did get a chance to hear some of what she did. What animators tend to do is, while I'm in the booth, they also film what I'm doing. They film my body. Even when you're doing voice acting, you don't just act with your voice, you act with your whole body. So sometimes you're in that booth by yourself or with several other people, and you're doing these sort of strange gesticulations with your body as you get into the character. One of my favorite lines in the movie was, "Oh, don't mind me, I'm just a wuss puss." And there's a certain attitude that comes along when somebody calls you a wuss puss and you're throwing it back at them. There's a kind of attitude. So, I think my body reflected that attitude from what I'm hearing you say. And I would have looked at her a certain way saying it. And the cat at that point did look at her a kind of way. I remember when we were shooting Gargoyles, and I was working with Sally Richardson, and you know, Sally Richardson is a beautiful woman. And there were times when Goliath would say to her, "Will I see you tomorrow?" And I would look at her with that, "I strongly hope so." And the animators captured that, because that's exactly what I was playing. Without saying, please come and see you tomorrow, I wanted to give her that look like, I do want to see you tomorrow. I deeply want to see you. And they were able to capture that many times. And that was always thrilling to me.
When Coraline first meets Wybie, she thinks he's kind of a weirdo. He's stalking her and just mistaking her name, and he's kind of annoying to her. But he's really kind of the only friend that she has, and even he is not being that great of a friend at the same time. So she's kind of hanging on to the good part about Wybie and then also being so annoyed at the bad part.
I think Coraline finds him very annoying because she's used to having her own space. Even though she kind of hungers for attention, she's always on her own, doing her own thing, thinking her own thoughts, and then he just kind of comes in and he's just in her face all the time, talking, and it can be very off-putting, I guess. But she comes to, like, get used to it.
It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. When it ended, I was like, no, keep going. I wanted it to keep going so bad, and getting to put the 3D glasses on and see it in 3D, and I was peeking over my glasses to see what it was like without the glasses on and then putting them back on. And it really adds something extra to have it be in 3D, because it adds so much more depth, and you feel like you're right up with the characters and they feel very real as opposed to just computer generated. They feel like they're three-dimensional, which they are.
This level of 3D it's just so not like the 3D we grew up with, you know, like it is so amazing and real and really scary, because the things that come out at you and I mean, it's just beautiful to watch, really fun.
The moral of the whole story is there's no place like home. I guess that's the moral of the book and the movie, that, you know, it may be great out there may be wonderful stuff, but your real mom and dad if they're good, they'll be really good to you, and you should trust them.
Coraline Jones always dreamed of finding a better world. A world more exciting than this. But never did she imagine that she'd discover it in her own home. A parallel place.
We've been waiting for you, Coraline.
Where parents are always fun.
I love your garden! Can't believe you did this!
And everything is so good.
What's shaking, baby?
It just can't be real.
Mom?
You're just in time for supper, dear.
You're not my mother. My mother doesn't have...
buttons? Do you like them? I'm your other mother, silly.
You probably think this world is a dream come true.
My name!
But you're wrong.
You do like it here, don't you, Coraline? You could stay here forever. There's one tiny little thing we need to do. Black is traditional.
She's got this whole world where everything's better, but it's all a trap.
You may come out when you've learned to be a loving daughter.
From Henry Selick, the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, comes a world of extraordinary imagination. Spooky secrets.
Who are you? You're in terrible danger, girl.
And daring discoveries.
I still have to find my parents to set them free.
This year, when adventure comes knocking,
Choo-choo.
there are some doors that should never be opened. Coraline. Written for the screen and directed by Henry-Selick.